Hi, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you for watching me. For those of you who don't know, I am a VIPKID teacher, and what that is a company based in China that contracts with people to work online to teach live ESL classes or English classes for Chinese students. These students are wonderful children, ages between 3 and 15, and I love my job. I would say this job is ideal for someone who wants to work at home, or you want to make an extra buck part-time, or if you'd like to just, make this a career. It's something that you could really invest your time, your effort, and even money, and I promise you, you will appreciate the benefits or you will reap the benefits. When I say invest money, I don't necessarily mean you have to pay money to join or to start. Investing meaning, you all this stuff ain't for free. The background is not for free. Given, I did get this from the Dollar Tree, so that will be on another video on where you can find inexpensive classroom items just to make your class fun. Today, we're going to talk about how to keep or maintain rather a good rating, or how to get a good rating so that your parents see your good rating, and that will be something that will help them to decide whether or not you are going to be booked for their child. But my rating right now is a 4.98. I've been working with VIPKID for 5 months now. So today I want to give you guys a few pointers or tips on how to maintain your good rating or how to raise your rating. The first tip I will suggest is to make sure that you have great audio and video quality. Make sure that you before your class starts, make sure that your audio is on point, your video quality is up to date. Make sure that you have good lighting. Make sure that your internet is connected and you have a good speed. Make sure everything is where it needs to be, so that that's not a reason why a parent would give you 3 apples instead of 5 apples, because they do apples instead of stars. Another thing I would suggest, you invest in photography lights. I got these lights on Amazon for about 40 bucks. It's something that you could invest in prior or after you receive your first check. I mean, hey, but make sure that your video and your audio is on point. Make sure your classroom is aesthetics. That's another thing that they will mention. If your classroom is kind of boring, or your setup is kind of like not colorful or just blah, that's something parents look forward to. Like you've got to create a fun, learning, and exciting atmosphere for your child or your student. Another tip is to keep the full 25 minutes time. That means teach your class has to last the duration of 25 minutes. Parent pays for that amount of time. So if you go less than that and you end the class before 25 minutes, that parent is not going to be happy. I remember I ended my class a minute before 25 minutes. I ended at 24 minutes once, and I got a really bad feedback. And from then on, I have to just make sure that I keep my class until 25 minutes. I would rather go over 25 minutes because you really have up to maybe 28 or 29. I'd rather go over 25 than, not reach that 25 mark. And let's just say that your student is really advanced and you're going through your slides, like you're just knocking them out back to back to back. I would, at the end of class, we would maybe do I'll bring out my flashcards. I have like ABC flashcards, or shapes, numbers. We can do some math, simple subtraction or addition. We could play, for my older kids, we play tic-tac-toe. For some of my advanced students who can really maintain or keep a conversation, I give them the option. One of my advanced students, I asked, we could either play a game or we could have a conversation. We could talk. They said they wanted to talk, and this is a guy. This is a young boy, And I asked him, what does he like to do? And he had the opportunity to practice his English with me. So there are many things you can do after you've completed the lesson and you do have extra time. One thing I try to do, this is what helps me to maintain, I'm loving that word tonight, maintain. I'm doing this at 11 p.m. because that's the time that I work. But another thing that you can do to help you stay on track with your time is to give each slide a minute. Like once you've passed the warm up and you're now on like the first actual lesson page, make sure that you're in tune. I try to make sure that I'm in tune with my minutes. So like let's say I have 7 minutes on the clock. I have had 7 minutes there so far in my lesson. I try to be on slide 7. And if I can keep going that way, if we're following that pace, perfect. Because by the slide 25, hopefully I would have completed it in 25 minutes. Now let's say you have 30 slides. Then you can gauge how fast to go. If your student is very smart and you're going through them very quickly, start a conversation, that's on the same topic of the slide. Like you see what color is that, or what do you see, and you guys have a conversation. Try to make sure that you get them talking, get them saying their target words and target phrases or their vocabulary. Try to get them to review on things that they've already learned. So that's the tip number 2. Tip number 3 is to keep your child engaged. Always keep them smiling, laughing. You always smile, even when you're annoyed, even when your child is not your students does not want to hear what you're saying or want to pay attention. One thing that my students do sometimes, they yawn. I ain't gonna lie, they yawn. I mean, my class is not boring because I'm a really fun and exciting person. But if they yawn, I'm yawning too. Like, hey, you bored? I'm bored. So when they're yawning, I'm gonna give them an exaggerated yawn. They're like, I'm like, oh. And I kid you not, that gets my students every time. No matter if you're new or you're old, no matter if, you're just not happy, because sometimes the students be serious. So I just I try to make them laugh any way I can. I pull out a toy, I start blowing some bubbles, I show them one of my favorite toys. And I just try to keep them smiling, laughing, and engaged. That's something that parents look forward to. And that's something that helps the parent give you the good rating and also book you again, because you also want more bookings. The more bookings, the better. You know what I'm saying? All right. Number 4, use your TPR. Do not forget to use your hand gesture. Like what I'm doing right now is what you need to do. And don't you ever forget what you need to do. That is TPR. Can you say TPR? Good job. Very good. Make sure you're using your hand movements and your hand gesture. Okay. And then tip number 5 is mention fun things that the student has done in the feedback. And at the end of the class, you have to give feedback, and this is how you get your payments, by your feedback submissions. Make sure when you write up your feedbacks, you're mentioning something that the student did during that class that was remarkable or memorable or even just fun, something silly that you guys laughed at together. Make sure you put it in there. So the parent sees and know that you and your student or you and their child had a really good time together, So those are the 5 tips I have for maintaining a good rating and also receiving a good rating. Number 1, your audio and video quality. Make sure that you're speaking loud enough. I got one of my feedbacks. One of my parents suggested that they said my voice was too small. My voice was too small. And I appreciate that. That means I'm going to be very loud next time, Number 2, make sure you keep your 25 minutes. You stay in time with that 25 minutes. If you go over, that's good. If you don't, you better try to make it at least 25 minutes. Number 3, keep the child engaged. Always smile. Keep the class fun and exciting. Number 4, use your TPR. Do not forget to use your TPR. Okay? Good job. And number 5, definitely mention something fun that happened in the class in your feedbacks. Thank you for watching. I am always open to questions or concerns, anything that you want to just add or say. Definitely give me a message. I will also in the description bar leave my referral link, so if you decide that this is something you might want to look into, you can always put my referral link into the referral code section when you're filling out your application. Also, if you have any questions on, how to do the mock interview, or, like how to get your better bookings or more bookings, definitely send me a message and I can help you. I have been working for 5 months, and I will say that I have decided to make this some quiet of a full-time. It's kind of between part-time and full-time. It's more than a part-time job, more hours than a part-time, but not as much as a full-time. But I will say that it has been very lucrative for me, and I have been very excited and pleased with the job. So definitely send me a message. Thank you for watching, and I can't wait to see you next time. Okay? Bye-bye.